Hello and welcome back. My name is Boetic, and this is episode 10 of my Survival 1.20 series. I feel like every episode kind of starts the same way right now. I've been busy. I have been doing some building. So let's take a look at a few things here real quick. In the last episode, I got an Elytra, as you can tell, flying around now. But I had a problem. I couldn't find enough creepers to keep me in the number of rockets that I need to do things now. So I needed to build a mob farm. So let's take a look at that build right now. Alright, so you can see that mob farm coming into view here. Let's go ahead and land up here on the top and just take a quick look at it. I believe this is a Nimbom designed mob farm here. It brings in skeletons, creepers, zombies, and spiders. And this is a etho hopper clock that tells it how often to flood the sections with water. So it's got, I've got dispensers with water in it going all the way down, and those have observers looking at them. So every time this note block gets powered, it triggers those to flood the platforms below. And I think I have 25 items in this hopper clock, so when I turn this on, those items start to flow back this side, and you'll see it turn on the redstone right above this note block when it comes back, and that triggered all the water and flushes it. So let's see if I can kind of show you it flushing here. So if I go away a little bit and turn around, you'll see that none of them have water on them right now, and then in just a second it should trigger, and now they have water on them. So that water flushes the all the bad guys out, and if we go all the way up here, it takes a little bit. I built this in a deep ocean so that it kind of acts as its own perimeter, so I don't have to worry about anything else spawning. So all the spawns come inside this, inside the farm, and so once I get to the top here, I'll switch over to free cam mode, and we can look and see all the different bad guys dropping down there. All right, so we're at the top. I'll just switch over into free cam, and now we should be able to come down here. And and should start flushing here in just a second. And we'll see all the bad guys fall down. They go into a water stream right there. And inside that water stream, I've got, or actually inside that little pipe there, I've got some soul campfires, which kill things a little bit faster than a normal campfire would. I could probably extend this just a little bit so that the bad guys have just a little bit longer to float in and start getting killed. That might increase the rates a little bit, but it's perfectly fine for what I need. So let's jump back here, and I'll go ahead and come down and turn the farm off, and we'll go down to the collection system. Alright, we can kill that. Give it a second to let all the last of the bad guys kind of go all the way down, and then we'll jump down. Probably hear a few of them getting killed. Maybe even have a few drop down. Eventually I'll probably do something like put glass around it or something like that, so I don't have to worry about any of this stuff. But it's producing pretty well. I mainly needed it for the gunpowder, so I'm just gonna come around and grab some gunpowder real quick. And so I've been happy with it. It didn't take a real long time to build, which is real nice too. So yeah, that's how I'm getting gunpowder now. I might revamp the collection system here at some point and do something like shulker box loaders or that kind of thing. But really, right now, it's fine. Let's go fly back, and we can take a look at a few other things here. So it's been nice having an Elytra now. I can get around much faster, and I can do cool things like check out this. I really think this is where a lot of my farms are going to end up going, inside here. But it's got a path that goes all the way through and out the top, right behind my mine and my villager house here. So that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to start doing some farms in there. The other thing that I realized was I've never shown the inside of my mine here on camera. So it's not much, but it's a spiral staircase that goes all the way down to the to bedrock, basically. And as I was digging it out, I found out that as we keep going here, it's pretty long. I'll do some drop chutes and a water elevator. I just really like the idea of a big spiral staircase like this. But what I found was we are sitting on top of a huge area of deep dark. And I wonder if there's one of the ancient cities down here too. I haven't explored it at all. What I really am thinking I'm going to do, I've never done a live stream before, and I am thinking that maybe I'll live stream going through that deep dark. And so stay tuned for possibly that coming up. We'll find out if that's something I can do or not. But as we keep going down here, you start seeing the stalk blocks, and you can see bats triggering all of those. When I was placing down my torches here, I did trigger two times the darkness effect. So I think I only have one more time before a warden shows up. I think I can get out of here pretty quickly if that does happen, but that's what I found. And then if we go this way, you'll see that I have done something, and this is going to be directly underneath the iron farm. So we come over here, we take a left and keep going straight. And what I've built over here is a super basic chunk loader. And so what this does, actually, let me go ahead and turn it on. I think if I hit this, it should, there we go. So now what this is doing is it's putting that minecart and it's sending it to the Nether. And then if I jump in the Nether side, well, here, let's wait just a second. So in the Nether side, it turns it into a item, and then the item gets sucked up by this hopper minecart, goes back in here, and so it just keeps cycling through. And what that does is it keeps this chunk, let me turn on chunk borders. This is right in the middle of the same chunk. If we go up about 80 blocks, our iron farm is right there. So it'll keep that iron farm running because I'm not in the spawn chunks out here. I'm like 3,000 blocks away from spawn. So this kind of keeps these blocks running. But the thing that's really neat is it also keeps a chunk running in the Nether too. And so I decided to build a bee farm. And I was amazed at how well this worked. So bees, if you don't know, bees in the Nether will never go to sleep. So they constantly, there's no daylight cycle. So they're constantly coming in and out of these hives, unlike in the overworld where they'll sleep during night. And I have gotten an insane amount of honey blocks just from them going in and out of their hives while I was building it. And let's just take a look at this bee farm real quick. I'm gonna jump in here and let's start with the bee farm piece itself. So if I break those, and I think I'm safe to break that block. So that's the beehive. And then in front of the beehive here, let's take a look at it from here. We've got a mud block, and then you can put flowers on top of mud blocks. So I've got flowers, and then underneath those mud blocks, because mud blocks are a pixel smaller, they're not a full block, you can actually use a hopper to pull something through that. And so I've got a comparator reading the signal of that beehive, and it needs to get to 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 repeaters that power this block right above the beehive right there, and that's a dispenser. And I've got bottles, and I've also got 1 set of shears in each one of these 5 sections there. And that means that we'll get bottles, and occasionally, basically 1 out of every 9, hopefully, we're going to get some honeycomb as well. And that will actually, by moving this block behind here, it pushes anything that comes from the shears or the honey balls forward towards the mud, and then it gets sucked up and goes in there. So it's working really well. I've been real happy with it. Not exactly sure where everybody kind of does these honey farms a little bit different. But what I did notice is if we come over here, this was getting a whole lot of honey, and with it being always loaded here from that chunk loader, it was I was getting too much, so I needed to have an on-off button. So if I hit this button here, the light turns on, and I've effectively turned off the farm by dropping these blocks here and cutting off the redstone to the top here. So the bees still go in and out. It still fills up with honeycomb, or it's still the beehives still fill up with honey, but I just never harvest that honey if I turn it off. And I just did a little press the button, and it moves this block over here and powers up there to power on those pistons. So it's worked really well. I really wanted to make sure that I didn't it would be real easy because they only stack to 16. Honey bottles do. It would be real easy to fill up this barrel with this chunk being loaded all the time. So that's been something that's been really neat. It's fun. It's a neat little thing to have just right here in the Nether. And I'm at the very bottom of the Nether here. So what I'm really thinking I'll end up doing is some I need to start looking for what is it? The netherite to start upgrading some things. And so I think we got a couple of honeycomb that time. Awesome. So that's just kind of what's going on here. It's a great use of the chunk loader in the Nether here. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that running here for a little bit. Go ahead and jump back out here. And so what that just keeps running here, and then I'll go ahead and head back up to the iron farm, and we'll pick up again from there. Alright, so let's head over to our iron farm here. It's so nice to be able to fly now. And we'll just come check this out a little bit. As we saw when I went down there, the chunk loader wasn't actually running. I had to turn it on, so we don't have a whole lot here. But with the chunk loader on, I'm going to have to do something with a storage system for this. I just in the amount of time that I had built that chunk loader and started working on the mob farm, I ended up getting half a shulker box full of the iron blocks. So that's a lot of iron that we've gotten from there. So I'm gonna need to do something there with a storage system. I wonder if maybe what that really means is it's time for us to look into building a serious storage system for some of these things instead of just the blocks I've got storing in my house. So I'll start thinking about that. I'm still not 100% set on the location of this iron farm either. So if you would do me a favor, in the comments, I am trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with this entrance. And I know I want to do some boats and things like that coming in and out of this area and that kind of thing. But I'm really thinking that maybe down in this area I will end up making it kind of my industrial area, and I can do an iron farm. I can do some farms in here that way I'm not having to hide them, and I can keep the other area for buildings and villagers and that kind of stuff. So let me know if you think that's a good idea. Drop something in the comments for me, and we can kind of build that together. I think this is just a great little area. So there's lots of potential here to build. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And now that I can fly a lot, I can get to these places so much faster. It's real nice. So a couple other things that are on my list to do. I need to find a swamp because I'm running low on the slime blocks. I only have one slime block and a few slime left, and so I'll need some sticky pistons here soon. So that's something on my list. I need to go find, now that I have an Elytra, I can go find a swamp, and I'll build a swamp farm, slime farm in the swamp. And then the other thing I want to do is I'll probably try to do a live stream at some point to do the to go down into that deep dark and see what's all down there. I hope that it's not so dark that YouTube makes it to where it's not very seeable for y'all. But let me know if you've got any ideas in the comments. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We've had lots of new subscribers recently. That is awesome. I really appreciate the feedback that I've gotten, and look forward to everybody joining me in the series and seeing what all fun things we can come up with to do. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, y'all.